The moon hung low in the sky, its silver glow washing over the quiet streets of a small, forgotten town. The streets were empty except for a stray dog named Luna, a scrappy golden retriever mixed with matted fur and soulful eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 untold stories. Luna had spent most of her life scavenging for scraps and dodging the occasional unkind kick, but she had never lost her spirit. She was a survivor. On this particular night, as the world slept, Luna roamed the alleys, sniffing around trash bins in search of her next meal. The air was cold, and the faint rustle of leaves added an eerie undertone to the silence. Suddenly, her ears perked up. She froze, her nose twitching. Amid the usual cacophony of night sounds, she heard something different. Soft, muffled cries, weak and fragile. Luna tilted her head, listening intently. The cries grew louder as she followed the sound, her paws padding softly on the cracked pavement. Her heart, though animalistic, felt a tug of urgency she couldn't ignore. She rounded a corner and approached a large, dented trash bin at the edge of an alley. The cries were coming from inside. With a determined leap, Luna placed her front paws on the edge of the bin and peered in. Her nose wrinkled at the sharp smell of decay, but her eyes quickly focused on a bundle of rags nestled among the refuse. The cries grew more desperate. Luna gingerly tugged at the bundle with her teeth, her movements careful yet firm. The rags fell away to reveal a tiny, wriggling newborn baby. The infant's skin was pale, and its cries were weak but insistent. Luna's heart, driven by an instinct beyond comprehension, surged with protectiveness. She looked around the deserted alley, her mind racing. There was no one in sight, no one to claim the helpless child. Without hesitation, Luna gently picked up the baby by its blanket, her teeth gripping it with the utmost care. She began to walk, her pace steady but purposeful. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew she had to get the baby to safety. The cold wind bit at her fur, but she pressed on, her resolve unwavering. As she walked, the city seemed to come alive with whispers. The street lights flickered, as if bearing witness to the extraordinary sight. A stray dog carrying a newborn baby through the streets, a vision of hope in a world that often felt devoid of it. Luna's journey took her through the labyrinthine streets of the town. She avoided the main roads, instinctively knowing that humans might react with alarm or aggression. She moved through alleys and side streets, her sharp eyes scanning for any sign of danger. As dawn began to break, the sky shifted from inky black to soft hues of pink and orange. Luna's pace quickened. She knew daylight would bring more people into the streets. The baby's cries had softened, replaced by small, fitful whimpers. Luna's protective instincts deepened. She had to find shelter. She arrived at an abandoned building on the outskirts of town, a place she had often used as a refuge during storms. The building was crumbling, its windows shattered and its walls covered in graffiti. To Luna, it was a sanctuary. She slipped through a gap in the fence and carried the baby inside. Once inside, Luna carefully placed the baby on a patch of relatively clean ground. She circled the infant, sniffing and nudging to ensure it was safe. The baby opened its tiny eyes, staring up at Luna with a gaze that seemed to pierce through the barriers of language and species. Luna felt an inexplicable connection, as if she had been chosen for this moment. But the baby needed more than just shelter. It needed warmth and nourishment. Luna looked around the building, her mind racing. She couldn't provide milk, but she could protect the child until help arrived. She lay down beside the baby, curling her body around it to shield it from the cold. Her fur, though unkempt, offered a cocoon of warmth. Hours passed, and the baby began to calm, lulled by the steady rhythm of Luna's breathing. Luna's thoughts drifted to her own past. She had once been part of a family, a loving household with a boy who had adored her. But circumstances had changed, and she had been abandoned. Despite the pain, Luna had never given up. And now, she realized her experiences had prepared her for this moment. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Luna knew she couldn't stay in the building forever. The baby needed human care, and Luna had to find a way to deliver the child to safety. But where could she go? The town was full of people, some kind and others cruel. Luna had to make the right choice. Luna decided to venture back into the town. She carefully picked up the baby again, her determination stronger than ever. The streets were beginning to stir with life. Vendors opened their stalls, children ran to school, and the aroma of freshly baked bread filled the air. Luna avoided the bustling marketplace, sticking to quieter paths. She approached a small park where an elderly woman named Mrs. Harper often fed stray animals. Luna had encountered her before and sensed kindness in her. The woman sat on a bench, tossing crumbs to a flock of pigeons. Luna approached cautiously, her golden eyes fixed on Mrs. Harper. The woman noticed Luna and smiled, but her expression quickly turned to shock when she saw the bundle in Luna's mouth. Mrs. Harper stood up, her hands trembling. "Oh my goodness," she exclaimed, rushing toward Luna. "What do you have there?" Luna gently placed the baby at Mrs. Harper's feet and backed away, her tail wagging nervously. The elderly woman knelt down, her eyes wide with disbelief as she unwrapped the baby. Tears welled up in her eyes. "You poor thing," she whispered, her voice quivering. "Where did you come from?" The baby let out a soft cry, and Mrs. Harper quickly scooped it up, cradling it in her arms. She looked at Luna, her voice filled with awe. "You brought this baby to me." Luna wagged her tail, her eyes never leaving the woman's face. Mrs. Harper pulled out her phone and called for help. Within minutes, an ambulance arrived, and paramedics took the baby into their care. The entire time, Luna stayed close, her heart pounding with a mix of relief and anxiety. News of Luna's heroic act spread quickly. Within hours, the story of the stray dog who had saved a newborn baby became the talk of the town. Reporters flocked to the scene, eager to capture the miraculous tale. Luna, however, remained oblivious to the attention. Her focus was solely on the baby's well-being. The baby was taken to the hospital, where doctors marveled at its resilience. Despite the cold and the circumstances of its discovery, the infant was healthy. Meanwhile, animal welfare organizations began searching for Luna, determined to give her the recognition and care she deserved. Mrs. Harper, who had witnessed the entire event, became Luna's advocate. She told anyone who would listen about the dog's incredible bravery and intelligence. "She's more than just a stray," Mrs. Harper said. "She's a hero." As the days passed, the town came together in an outpouring of support. Donations poured in for the baby, whom the hospital staff had nicknamed Hope. Families lined up to offer foster care, and Luna became a symbol of compassion and resilience. Luna's life changed forever. She was taken in by a loving family who had heard her story and wanted to give her the home she deserved. The family included a young girl named Emily, who instantly bonded with Luna. Emily would often sit with Luna, stroking her fur and whispering, "You're my hero." As for the baby, little Hope was adopted by a kind couple who had been trying to have a child for years. They vowed to give her a life filled with love and opportunity. Hope grew up hearing the story of how a stray dog had saved her, and she often visited Luna, bringing her treats and spending hours playing with her. Luna's story became a legend in the town, a reminder of the power of love and the unbreakable bond between humans and animals. And though Luna had started her journey as a stray, she ended it as a cherished member of a family, her spirit unbroken and her heart full. In the end, it wasn't just a baby who had been saved. Luna had found her purpose, her courage inspiring an entire community. And as she lay in her warm bed each night, surrounded by love, Luna knew she had truly come home. Months passed, and life seemed to settle into a rhythm for both Luna and the baby, Hope. The bond they shared had created ripples across the town, drawing people closer to one another. For Luna, her new life was a dream she hadn't known she could have. But beneath the joy, there was a longing, a part of her heart that still yearned for something she couldn't quite name. Luna often sat by the window of her new home, staring out at the street she had once wandered. Emily, her new best friend, would often sit beside her, brushing her golden fur and talking about her day. But Emily noticed something in Luna's eyes, a flicker of sadness, as though she were looking for something or someone. One chilly afternoon, as the autumn leaves fell in cascades of gold and red, Emily and her parents decided to take Luna to the park. It was the same park where Luna had first approached Mrs. Harper with hope. The moment Luna stepped onto the familiar ground, her tail wagged furiously. Memories of that fateful day flooded back. As they strolled, Emily spotted Mrs. Harper feeding the pigeons. She waved excitedly, and Luna bolted toward the elderly woman, her tail a blur. Mrs. Harper chuckled and opened her arms wide. "There's my brave girl," she exclaimed, kneeling to embrace Luna. As they chatted, Mrs. Harper told Emily's family about how Luna had lived before finding hope. She was always a wanderer, but there was something special about her. She had this spark, this determination. Just then, a boy approached, his eyes widening as he spotted Luna. He was around Emily's age, with messy brown hair and a hesitant smile. "Is that—" he began, his voice trembling. Luna froze. She stared at the boy, her head tilting slightly as though trying to place him. Then, in an instant, recognition dawned. She backed, a joyous, high-pitched sound, and ran to him, her paws skidding on the pavement. "Max?" Emily's father asked, recognizing the boy as their neighbor's son. Max knelt, tears streaming down his face as Luna nuzzled him frantically. "It's her. It's really her," he sobbed. "This is Luna. She was our dog before we had to move. I thought I'd never see her again." Emily's parents exchanged astonished glances, realizing that Luna's past had found her. The reunion was bittersweet, filled with tears and laughter. Luna had been a part of Max's family before they'd lost their home and had no choice but to let her go. Seeing her now, thriving and loved, filled Max with both relief and gratitude. The days following the reunion were a whirlwind of emotions. Max visited Luna often, each time bringing her a toy or a treat she used to love. Emily, though happy for Max, began to feel a pang of jealousy. Luna was her hero, her best friend. Sharing her felt like losing a piece of herself. One evening, as Emily sat in her room with Luna curled up beside her, she finally spoke her heart. "Luna," she whispered, tears slipping down her cheeks, "do you miss Max more than you love me?" Luna lifted her head, her golden eyes meeting Emily's. She nuzzled the girl's hand gently, as if to say, "I love you both." Emily's parents noticed the tension growing between Emily and Maximum. They decided it was time for a family meeting, inviting Max and his mother over. Together, they discussed what was best for Luna. "She means so much to all of us," Max said, his voice trembling. "But I can see how happy she is here. Maybe it's enough just to know she's okay." Emily's heart ached as she listened. She saw the pain in Max's eyes and realized that love sometimes meant letting go, even if just a little. "Luna can visit," Emily offered, her voice soft but resolute. "She'll always live here, but Max can see her whenever he wants." Max smiled, tears shining in his eyes. "Thank you," he said. "That means everything." Meanwhile, hope was growing quickly. The couple who had adopted her, David and Clara, were overjoyed by the progress their little miracle had made. But they knew she wouldn't stay little forever. They often visited Emily's family, wanting Hope to know the dog who had saved her life. During one of these visits, Clara approached Emily's mother with an idea. What if we shared Luna's story with the world? Maybe it could inspire others to help animals in need, and remind people to cherish every life, no matter how small. The families agreed, and soon Luna's story became a sensation once again. A local filmmaker offered to create a documentary, capturing every detail of that fateful night and the bond that had formed between Luna and Hope. The documentary premiered at the town's community center, drawing a crowd larger than anyone had expected. As the final scenes played, a montage of Luna and Hope playing together, their laughter and barks filling the air, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Luna sat beside Emily, her tail wagging as if she knew she was a star of the show. Hope toddled over to her, wrapping her tiny arms around the dog's neck. "Luna," she said in her small, clear voice, "my angel." The room erupted in applause. Though Luna's fame brought joy to many, it also unearthed painful stories. People began sharing their own experiences of loss, abandonment, and redemption. One woman, who had struggled to forgive herself for giving up her pet years ago, found solace in Luna's journey. The community rallied together, creating a fund for stray animals and abandoned children. They named it Luna's Light, a beacon of hope for those in need. Emily, Max, and Hope became ambassadors for the fund, working together to spread awareness. Luna attended every event, her presence a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could change lives. Years passed, and Luna grew older. Her muzzle turned gray, and her movements slowed, but her spirit remained as vibrant as ever. Hope, now a bright and curious child, often visited Luna with stories of school and dreams for the future. One crisp autumn day, as the leaves fell once more, Luna lay in the backyard surrounded by her family. Emily sat beside her, stroking her fur, while Max and Hope laughed nearby. Luna closed her eyes, a deep sense of contentment washing over her. She had lived a life filled with purpose, love, and connection. From the dark alley where she had found hope to the warmth of her forever home, Luna's journey had touched countless lives. And as the sun set, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Luna drifted into a peaceful sleep, her legacy shining brightly in the hearts of those she had saved. Her story, though complete, would never be forgotten. A tale of courage, love, and the unbreakable bond between a stray dog and the world she had changed. Luna's passing left a profound emptiness in the hearts of everyone she had touched. Emily struggled the most, often retreating to the corner of her room where Luna used to sleep. Hope, too young to fully understand death, would sometimes ask, "When is Luna coming back?" Each time, her parents explained gently, "Luna is watching over us from the sky now, like a star." Despite the pain, Emily knew she had to honor Luna's memory. One evening, as she stared at the stars, an idea sparked. What if we start a shelter, she asked her parents, a place for stray animals like Luna, where they can be loved and safe. Her parents looked at each other, their faces softening with pride. "That's a beautiful idea," her mother said. "We'll help you make it happen." The family reached out to the community, sharing Emily's vision. Inspired by Luna's story, people came forward with donations, time, and resources. Even Max joined the effort, volunteering to help build the shelter. They decided to call it Luna's Haven, a sanctuary where every animal would find the love and care they deserved. The grand opening of Luna's Haven was an emotional event. Hope cut the ribbon with her small hands, and Emily released balloons into the sky, each carrying a message of gratitude for Luna. As the first rescued animals entered the shelter, Emily felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Luna's love had come full circle, reaching far beyond what anyone could have imagined. As the years passed, Hope grew into a bright and compassionate child, her life forever shaped by Luna's act of kindness. She often visited Luna's Haven, playing with the animals and sharing stories of her own. Though she didn't remember the night Luna had saved her, she felt the dog's presence in everything she did. One day, while helping clean the shelter, Hope found an old, tattered collar in a box of donated items. The tag was worn, but the name Luna was etched faintly into the metal. Tears filled her eyes as she held it close. "Is this hers?" she asked Emily, who had come to check on her. Emily shook her head, her smile bittersweet. "No, sweetie, but maybe it's a sign. Luna's story isn't over yet." Hope thought about those words for days. She decided to create a special program at the shelter called Luna's Gift, where children like her could bond with rescued animals, learning about empathy and love. The program quickly became a success, bringing joy to countless families and giving abandoned animals a second chance. Through Luna's Gift, Hope found her purpose. She often told the children, "If a dog like Luna can change the world, so can we." Max, now a teenager, carried Luna's memory like a compass guiding his life. Inspired by her bravery and resilience, he decided to pursue a career in veterinary medicine. His passion grew as he volunteered at Luna's Haven, working closely with injured and scared animals. One day, while attending to a malnourished puppy that had been abandoned in a storm, Max felt a surge of determination. "I'm going to make sure no animal ever feels unloved again," he vowed. Years later, Max earned a scholarship to a prestigious veterinary school. His journey wasn't easy. Late nights, long exams, and the emotional toll of seeing suffering animals. But he never wavered. Every time he felt overwhelmed, he thought of Luna. She never gave up. He'd remind himself, "Neither will I." When Max graduated, he returned to his hometown to work at Luna's Haven as its first full-time veterinarian. The shelter's mission grew stronger with Max's expertise, and his bond with Emily and Hope deepened. Together, they became the heart of Luna's Haven, their shared love for Luna driving them to make the world a better place. One winter's evening, as a blizzard blanketed the town in snow, Emily received an urgent call. A passerby had spotted a dog in distress near the edge of the woods. Emily, Max, and Hope rushed to the scene, their hearts pounding with worry. The sight that met them was both heartbreaking and miraculous. A mother dog, thin and shivering, was curled around a litter of newborn puppies. Despite her own suffering, she had shielded her pups from the cold, just as Luna had once protected Hope. Emily knelt beside the dog, tears streaming down her face. "You're just like her," she whispered. "You're a hero." They carefully brought the family back to Luna's Haven, where Max and his team worked tirelessly to nurse them back to health. The mother dog, whom Hope named Star, recovered quickly, her eyes shining with gratitude. Her puppies thrived under the care of the shelter, their playful barks filling the halls with life. Star's story spread, bringing even more attention to Luna's Haven. Donations poured in, allowing the shelter to expand and save even more animals. It was as though Luna's spirit lived on, guiding them toward hope and healing. Years turned into decades, and Luna's Haven became a beacon of hope for animals and people alike. Emily grew into a wise and compassionate leader, overseeing the shelter's growth. Max became a renowned veterinarian, using his skills to save lives around the world. Hope, now an adult, dedicated her life to teaching children about kindness and the power of love. On the 20th anniversary of Luna's Haven, the community gathered for a special celebration. A large mural of Luna, painted by a local artist, was unveiled on the shelter's main wall. It depicted Luna carrying Hope through the streets, her eyes filled with determination. Beneath the mural were the words, "Every life matters. Every act of kindness changes the world." As the crowd cheered, Emily looked up at the sky, where a single star shone brightly. She whispered, "Thank you, Luna, for everything." That night, as the town slept, the legacy of a stray dog named Luna continued to grow, touching hearts and inspiring kindness in ways no one could have imagined. Her story, woven into the lives of all who knew her, proved that love has the power to heal, unite, and transform. And though Luna's paws no longer walked the earth, her spirit remained a guiding light, a star that would never fade. Luna's story is a reminder of the profound impact love and kindness can have on the world. If this story touched your heart, please don't stop here. You can make a difference too. Like and share this video to spread Luna's story far and wide. Subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories and updates from Luna's Haven. Together, we can create a world where every life is valued. Be the light that changes someone's story. Thank you for watching. Let's make a difference together.